I'm not sure if this is a thing in real life too, but I have noticed that the clouds in the sky are gonna go to the right side of the screen. Meanwhile, the smoke from the coal power factory and the small little leaf particles are gonna go to the left side of the screen. So for today, what I would like to do is start building onto the future project, because I'm really going to need to do that in order to progress further into the game. And meanwhile, we can also take a look at small little unlock and tiers and that kind of things. Now also Friday I seen a teaser of update 8. Long story short, we're gonna get an upgrade from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. There are a lot of things that are going to be better for the game. And there is also one thing that I'm going to show you in a second, which I'm going to be very excited for. But first I have chosen 3 comments. Zorlak is saying the hard drives has an inbuilt progression system. Depending on where the crash site is, the loot needed to open the pod will change. So in the starting area, most pods will mostly need tier 1 to 4 items to unlock, but in more difficult areas like the Red Forest will mostly need tier 5 to 7 items. It is still good to always check the loot surrounding the crash site, since sometimes the items from the tiers that you haven't unlocked yet can spawn, allowing you to unlock more crash sites. That is a good one though. The pod that you see on the ground is the same type of pod that you send into space after completing their sub-tech tier in the hub, which is talking about that guy right up there, this green piece. Now I'm wondering then, how is that stuff being crashed on this planet though? So I got so many questions about this game. Maybe we will get to know that someday with the storyline being added in the future. And the last thing, I think he says a few recipes that you can look out for are the compacted steel ingot, iron wire, fused wire, heavy enchased frame, iron alloy, copper alloy and stitched iron plates. So we're gonna take a look at that in a minute, because I have been putting the last hard drive into the MEMS system. Thank you a lot for this valuable information. I really appreciate that. Saphiricon is saying a few pods will require power along with materials. Remember to disconnect those when you have opened them, otherwise they will keep drawing power forever. That's a very good one. Thank you a lot for keeping an eye out on my power system. I really like that though. JD is saying now that you unlocked the truck, you can start thinking about spreading out a little bit and set up a couple of truck stations, one for loading and one for unloading. Just remember, the trucks use fuel, so you need to make sure there is fuel, like for now biofuel, at one truck station so the trucks can refuel as needed. Now I had a comment in the past saying I shouldn't touch those vehicles because they are buggy. Now let me show you what this comment is about. And or there is some good news for these vehicles, because the update 8 teaser video had also an explanation that the Unreal 5 engine has a new type of physics package, which basically means, let me just get good in the screen, that these vehicles will no longer like what it does right now. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, you see like it's hobbling and bubbling over these foundations. That's because they hit like the edge of one foundation toward the other foundation, and apparently, you know, this Unreal Engine 4 doesn't like to cooperate with that, with the script that is available right now. But they have also been announcing it will have better steering, and each wheel will have a separate sound system, so the audio will be improved, and yeah, the driving will be a lot more fun and more worth it to set up. And of course there is a lot more stuff that will come up, and yeah, it's basically a lot of just, you know, what is Unreal 5 engine compared with 4, and what are the new stuff, what are the extra options, what are the improvements, and that kind of thing. It will be in a test experimental at first, but later on they're gonna play everything into let's say the real update 8 version. Alright, so the MEMS system gave me this stuff, and let me take a look at your comments. So the thing that I do have here is iron wire. which is this guy. These two guys are not like on the menu for now, but I can understand maybe, you know, you cannot just say everything in the comments, but I'm gonna go for this one since this is the iron wire alternative recipe. It is in the comments, so let me just do this one. Also, if you guys know a lot more recipes that is going to be important, then let me know down below in the comment section. And for now, I'm going to do this one. I can understand it saves me also copper for these copper plating, and maybe for the future there will be other copper stuff. I also noticed that the blade runner sometimes doesn't seem like it's activated. It just stops me or slows me down. I'm not quite sure what is going on with that. I had it the last episode too when I just started it, and then at some point, you know, it was all gone and running smoothly. Now we have this beam there, which I believe is cadmium ore, if I pronounce it the correct way. I'm going to need to have explosives for that, which I'm going to need to have a silver mine up and running. And before I'm going to, you know, start up all kinds of other projects, I'm going to need to have a place to put down all this stuff. So I'm going to spend a good amount of time setting things up. Now what I would like to do here, all right, over here I want to have a building, which now I'm thinking of it, I want to know if I can blow up these big blocks of stone down here. Chunks I wanted to say, because over here I would like to have a storage area going from that direction into that direction. It's going to be a massive storage area. I'm going to have a lot of space towards the back though. And on top of that, I want to have the hub. Anything else down here, I'm not going to spoil just yet. I will just do bit by bit and part by part, and then slowly but surely you can say, okay, JB, I know what you're doing out there. Also, another thing that I would like to look out for real quick is actually, I want to print some more coupons, because I want to have some more building pieces. Now I know, you know, in case I can always upgrade stuff later on, but you know, it's always nice to just get a better idea right away, right? The one thing that I really want to have is windowed walls. Now we have these guys, which cost 6. I don't have. These guys got 3. Now let me just see. I got 3 more in here. I don't think I'm going to make it though, but gates also seem like a lot of fun. But to be real honest, if I'm going to look at the stuff that I want to build, then I'm going to go for these guys. The other window, do I? Let me just check what these cost. Oh, look, we also have these ones. These are also looking very nice though. Yeah, that's fine. I can, like I said, I can always upgrade walls, you know, if need. So let me just do this one. Very good. And anything else, I'm just going to save these guys up. Now, the one thing I do not like, when you sort items, it just put everything through each other. I wish there was like a sorting system that sorts, like, you know, sort resources, and then it just leaves everything that is not a resource alone. Would be very handy. Now let me think here. I said something about explosive, right? I got a little bit of sulfur, and I'm not really sure just yet what I need, but let me just take a little look. So here we have black powder. I'm just going to need to have a little bit of coal, and I think I'm also, yeah, okay, one by one. So let's just research this guy and then take a look at that guy, because this one I am going to need to have steel piping, but I think I can just set up a temporarily something, if I'm not wrong. Let me just see if it would already be possible to set that up. Get everything here. Ah, I can, but let me just see there. I just need these piping. Steel pipe. What am I going to need? Steel ingots. Steel ingots. I think I needed like coal, and I guess it's with this foundry, right? Yeah, so we need coal and iron ore. Okay, it might be a little crazy what I'm about to do here, but what I'm going to do here is place this guy. Just for now, I'm just going to need a couple things. I'm going to place it right down here, and then I'm going to disconnect this guy, which provides me rods and some plating. It is fine. I'm going to connect things up once I'm done with that. I'm going to do it like that, which looks incredibly silly. And just a container here, and then I'm gonna grab some coal, and then we're going to move everything over. Right, just like that. And let's turn this guy on. Connect this stuff up, and then we should get some of these. Very good. But long story short about my future project, I explained it a little bit in the last episode, I believe. But what I want to do is have multiply spaces. And in these multiply spaces, I'm going to do a separate assembly line. So for example, right down here, I only want to have a screw assembly line, because if I need to change something, I can just empty out the whole section and replace it once again. I'm not going to change the whole building, maybe add something or remove something, but basically have different sections where things happen, which makes it a lot more easier for me in order to change things and upgrade things, because, you know, having this down here is fun for the beginning, but troublesome later on. Alright, I've been making a... Oh, I need 100. Okay, and I'm also going to need to have some of this black powder stuff, so let me also take a look at that. It's going to be very handy, you know, to see the amount of things that I'm going to need. And I'll guess that, once again, for the black powder stuff, I'm going to need to have a assembler, I'll guess. And I can understand it requires two types of ingredients, in this case coal and silver. Alright, coal and silver is gonna go in there, and that was all the silver I had, so I might need to run back. Yeah, I definitely need. Alright, there we go. Research this guy. Should be able to blow stuff up, unless... Ah, there it is. I was just... What is this? It is steel beams. Right, one of these, thank you, please. And a couple of those. You know what? Let's start out with 10 and see how far we can get with that stuff. Now, I would also swear that I'm missing something. I think... Ah, yes, the object scanner. I wanted to say it is gone there, but you know what? It is fine. It is dark, which might be actually a good thing in order to see the explosions even better. I hope it does not blow up my foundation, because I'm also going to blow up this guy. But let me just see how this works. I'm going to guess that we need to do both of these. Oh, not. Okay. So press R to reload. Let me just reload it like that. Yes, and then... Okay, left mouse button does... Oh! The right mouse button. So it does not blow up this rock. Does this rock has like a certain health or something? Okay, that is weird. Am I using enough explosive? Is that the whole thing here? I'll guess these guys will never be blow-upable. Okay, well, I've added everything I could add to this. That is definitely a shame. Now, of course, there are solutions I can do for this part, but that part over there, ooh, that is going to be a problem. Even though it is also solvable, but just putting the road a little bit up from the whole cross section here. I thought this stuff should be, you know, be a goner, but I guess they are talking about like these tiny rocks. Well, it's okay, it's okay. It's good to know for now, so in the future when I come across some of these rocks, I can just do something else. What a lovely morning in this game, ain't it? Anyways, I've been doing some off-camera work. Now for today, there's also a downside. I forgot that the clock has been set 1 hour forwards at midnight because of summertime. But I'm going to try to do my best to add up some content. As you can see on the left and the right, I have been putting up some stuff. Some conveyor poles, some power poles, some railings and all that good stuff. And I have been solving my problem with the rock that I had down here. Now you might ask, JB, did you really manage to blow up the rock? Not really, because as you can see, it is still down here. So what have I been doing? Well, yes, I have been doing something really crazy. I have been moving up all the foundations a little touchy higher all over the place. So with other words, long story short, I've been placing this guy down here and then attach a new foundation to it after removing the one below, of course. And I've been doing the same down here. It took a lot of work, but you know, I'd rather do it right away than just start building and then at some point there's no way to remove this rock. Alright, another thing, I have been placing this guy underneath here because I wanted to see like how high is this actually, and I have also decided the really big truck is not going to drive here anyways, maybe by me, and see if that is possible, because I think I've been reading that the very big truck is almost a complete foundation wide, which is very big. This here is just for fun, alright, and slowly but surely into the future you're going to see what I'm going to do with this whole place. Now, I did notice that I could add one more conveyor belt underneath, and at some point I will, and of course I will add up more to the top. And there is so much more that I would like to do. I've also been thinking like I could at some point place these guys all the way up, right? And then remove all of these conveyor poles that I'm not going to use, and then it just looks like it is attached to it. I think that is nice, and yes, maybe I could attach the conveyor belt with the wall mounts, maybe. I've not checked that out just yet. Let me just take a quick look if that is even possible. But then I need to just place this out here, right? Just for testing purposes. No, you cannot attach this as a wall mount. Then I just have to build like a whole wall and do a lot of troublesome things and remove the wall and then place the pole back. I'm not gonna do that. I do have to think about how I'm going to do all of this fun stuff into the future. I really would like to, you know, spend a nice amount of time to this whole building project. Because down here I might have a problem, maybe not. I just have to, you know, place one here, place one there, and just fill up this corner gap, and then remove the railing, and then on the inside it will, you know, look like this. And if I remove the railing, I still have access. Why remove the railing? Well, because, you know, you can see a tiny bit going through, and I'd rather just remove the railing and have it look a bit nicer than having, you know, everything stick through. And it will also save me up on, I'll guess, extra items laying around. So that is that for now. I've been doing it all the way around, and there will be a lot more going that way. At some point the factory over there will be completely vanished. Now also down here I might have a problem, but I'm not going to focus too much on this problem. I'm just going to make maybe just like a little speed bump up, and I just, you know, leave this part as it is. And then here on the sidewalk, I just have to see what I'm going to do. It is not too big of a deal if the sidewalk is not there at some point. This project is going to be slowly but surely being built, right? I don't want to make like the silly mistakes I've been doing over there. And I think building like the whole conveyor belt, power systems and that kind of stuff is a little bit more important than doing all the walls right away. But what I would like to do for now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time onto this project that I have for right down here. So right down here to the left and to the right will be storage areas. I want to have them on both sides, so you can walk through like a hallway, and then left and right side storage areas. Now I am going to need to keep in mind, I'm just trying to think, is that the storage areas will be accessible from the back and, you know, go up to a main conveyor belt system or whatever. That I create enough space for myself to do these kind of things. I do have a bit of an idea what I can do. But I am going to use these walls, and I was thinking about using these guys because these guys really make it look like some shopping windows, like this old school shopping windows. And yeah, this will be an entrance here. Now what I will do in order to solve this problem with the rocks, I guess I can go one more forwards like that, right? And then I think I just want to go up for a bit. So I also create some space underneath in case I need to place some conveyor belt. It's all going to be fine and nice. And what I would like to do a little bit higher, I just have to see how and what. But I want to place the hub in here. I want to place like a sinks in here. And this area needs to be done the correct way right away. And of course, you know, if I need more storage area, it's going to be elsewhere for something. I do have some more plans for the future also with this area down here. I would like to make use of mods, but I am going to wait with that because when update 8 comes out, mods will be broken and they will need to be repaired. I got this experience with City Skyline. Every time the game has an update, mod makers need to update the mods and then it can be used again. So I'll just leave this as it is. It's gonna be something pretty though. I'm gonna give you guys a bit of an update before it's getting too dark and I can, you know, work at night again. But this is what I have so far. It was a little bit of a puzzling how to get the vertical beam also onto the second floor and the third floor. But after a while messing around, I finally figured things out. Now, of course, on this side, I'm going to need to see how I can continue the beam toward the back side, I meant to say. And maybe I'm going to put some glass in there too. I just have to see how things are going to turn out. I have an amazing plan, or at least so far, I think it's going to be amazing for the inside though. Now, this is the entrance, and I did decided that I want to have a couple of the storage area right down here for a very good reason, is because I have this stone further ahead, which makes it very difficult to do what I had in mind. But yeah, this is just for some basic stuff right down here, and over here you can go up on both sides, and then here in the back, the big stone. So in here is going to be a little bit like the conveyor belts and stuff that goes up, down, left and right and whatever not, which I mainly think it will go up right onto this, to all of the floors. It will make sense later on how and what, but this is, I thought, a nice way to, you know, hide this rock and have a bit of space behind here to, you know, work with things. Of course, all of the conveyor belts will come into the back. I just have to see how much, because maybe some of them need to, you know, I might just need to put it in the floor right away with the elevator. And I've also been thinking I'm going to need to have something up here, right? This is the thing that I'm going to need to do a little bit of puzzling. What it basically means is, what I would like to have on the floor above here is to have a pathway right down here, and then on both sides of the pathway I want to have these storage containers with something in here, something in there. And then what I mean is I'm going to figure out how I'm going to go to the next level. I was thinking maybe what I could do is just go have a pathway going up here on both sides, and then you come up, then go around, and then you have this hallway with on both sides storage areas, which, you know, everything made look nice. And then you just go around here and then go up, go around, up, and go around, up. I think that is the best way to do. So this level, I'm just going to figure out what I'm exactly going to do. But I'm also thinking what would be nice is, for example, here in the middle, I want to have like a door. And there's going to be a workbench here and the other crafting bench right down there. So one for the tools and stuff, one for the resources, so I can still make some stuff if needed. The hub though, I was thinking, you know, it has like this spaceship that goes up and down, you know, and I was like, if I place this thing here, the spaceship will go through all of the floors. It looks a little bit silly, so I'm going to put it all the way on top of the building, so we also have a nice view. I don't need to be there that much anyways, it's just to unlock a tier when it's needed, right? And anything else I can do in the crafting bench and the other crafting bench. What is it called? Yeah, craft bench and equipment workshop. Okay, there we go. So these two guys are gonna have this own room down here, and of course on this side I can have a couple more of the storage areas, and then yeah, from that point on every floor is going to be the same. Now of course onto this other top floor above here, I'm going to have the storage area facing this direction, right? So which basically means the back of the storage will be here. And first I was like, yeah, but then you're going to see like these little conveyor belt elevators here on the back. And I was like, you know, maybe that's not too bad. It really shows like it is a factory game, right? So it's going to be all fine and nice. So in this case, I'm just going to add in a little bit more work onto this. And then, yeah, I'm going to show you guys again what I have. I'm not sure how high I want to make this building just yet. Of course, always I can decide to make it higher when it really needs to, but I guess adding another few floors in here is not going to be a problem. I better have too much space than too less, right? And so once before it gets dark again, I would like to show you guys what I have been doing. Now it is not finished just yet, but that's because it is a repetitive process, and I will also want to show you why I chosen to do certain things different because of the problem that I'm facing. But long story short, the top floor for right now is the last part where I want to make like a storage area, and from that point I'm just going to put the hub on top, and don't make it like too fancy there, because if I need more place for storage area I can always increase the height of this build down here. But I need to keep in mind there is only a certain amount of items in this game to be, you know, stored when I need them. Anything else will go through the machines, will go through other storages and whatever not. This is just more of a library slash is when I need to make a couple of items and just grab some items in case I need to build some stuff. It's going to all make more sense the further we get into this play. I am having another couple of storages, and also behind here I have like this little workspace, this guy and this guy. This, you know, I was expecting this thing to be just as ginormous as this guy, but it's a tiny cute little thing. Anyways, let me just first walk up here, because here I was facing a problem and I've also got a solution on the other side. Now, as you can see, first of all, this isn't like very nice, especially if you think about it, that I'm going to need to do that over there too, right? Now there are inclined upside down pieces. That is not too much of the problem. The way how I've been building my building, as you can see, it is one wall, two wall, and a little bit of a wall, which you can already guess that a ramp like this isn't going to work when you also need to place this ramp down here, and that turns out to be a little bit ugly with this above here. So then I was thinking, I have seen some bits and pieces for a smaller walkway, which I have been using this down here. I think this is way better, and it's just straight up. Now of course I just kept the gap and I just placed this here, and that's also because there are no half foundation. Maybe there are, but for now this is just fine. I haven't checked out this yet if there are skins for these type of deal in order to change this into like concrete or whatever, same like this deal. And of course I did face a problem with the railing, so I just solved it by adding in these barriers down here, only for the floor where I'm gonna have a walkway like this. And I just made it look a little bit nice. What is going on over there? As you can just see through. I'll just figure it out. It's not important for right now. But up here I've been using these normal railings, and then on the next floor I'm going to use these barriers again. It's just a little bit of puzzling for this very first build, but overall I am happy. Now down here I got a ton more storage. I got 2x9 storage, and on top of this floor will be another 2x9 storage. And then I just want to stop adding more stuff because I don't know how many items there are. Yeah, of course I don't want to have raw resources in here because I could just take them from wherever it's need. Yeah, the reason why there is also that up there is because I've been already saying like I would like to have stuff come in from the back. I'm not sure, maybe I'll just make another expansion if need for all these conveyor elevators going up. Then of course one of these guys is gonna go in here, and then the other one is gonna go on top right in there. So just cross over and then gets into here. I think that is a good idea. Yeah, but long story short, you can understand like there is a lot to do on this build just yet, and it is basically repetitive type of work. So I could just choose to finish it, but then the episode will be online later. Yeah, so this idea here will also be here, and then on top we're going to place the hub. And then in the next episode I would like to start building the very first new assembly area. I'm not sure just yet where I'm going to build that, but this is going to be a lot of fun if it's about like how we're going to connect things up, how it's going to work with the idea I have down here. And I also have to say we have all of these like spots for conveyor belt, and I was also thinking that I need to use them as much as possible only when I need to crush this area, just like the coal power plant. I just need to crush, like I could go around the whole thing, but I'm not sure how far I'm going to build, how far I'm not gonna build. So yeah, it's just basically for cross section. Which in this case, I could say, okay, the first thing in the next episode we're going to build is something with iron. I have the iron factories built as first. I want to remove them as first. We're going to have a rod room to say. Then I can cross a whole section of iron rods throughout this area through these conveyor poles. And let's say maybe build it right down here. But I just have to think very well on how I'm going to do things, because I don't want to make it a mess anymore from now on. And I already had a problem taking the vehicle going up all the way to the place where I could get a little bit of sulfur. I needed to, you know, make like silly ramps, and at one point I had to abandon the car because I couldn't drive further. But yeah, long story short, we have started working onto this project. I want to do a couple of episodes placing buildings down, making a little bit of assembly line, and just take care that we move everything over. Of course, I'm not gonna go till 100% because I know there are also alternative recipes to get. Then I'm going to rebuild stuff again, but basically the alternative recipes that I have right now, I can already do something with it. And then slowly but surely I want to have that going down all the way in here. And of course I'm going to connect this spot up to where the factory is right now, and then we can start making another power plant and also work onto the steel factory, and so on and so on. I'm just going to edit this whole show, then afterwards I'm going to continue building on that build, and then yeah, the next episode, the new project. I hope you guys find that okay, and before going, you know, all crazy and having to build way too much stuff and having to break down way too much stuff. And then if you have certain ideas, you can always let me know down below in the comment section. All right, let's get some stuff going. Of course I need to act like I'm going to do something, but in fact this is going to be the outro, and then I'm going to edit, so I'm just gonna play silly here. Oh, let me just, you know, remove this ramp down here.